Hey, DMAC Leadership Development students. Hope you're having a great week. We are now moving on to week 4. We've got through the first 3 weeks, now moving on to week 4. Week 5 is just around the corner. I'll talk more about that in just a moment. I want to wrap up some things on week 3. We talked about path goal theory in week 3. Path goal theory for me is one of my favorite leadership theories. I like a whole lot of stuff about path goal theory. I like the fact that leaders are able to morph themselves into a certain style based on their followers, becoming directive, becoming participative. I really, really like that. I like the fact that it takes relationships into account because too many times leadership can become very sterile and relationships are often forgot about. We have become so profit driven, bottom dollar driven, that we sometimes forget about relationships. And I think that's key, is knowing those relationships and knowing that, hey, with this bunch, these tasks require them to be a directive approach. And that's okay. Too many times we see directive and we think forceful, low relationship, high task. It's true, but there are situations where you need to have that. So that's one of the things I really, really appreciate about path goal theory. The other thing I really appreciate about it is the fact that it deals with mundane tasks. We have those mundane tasks at work we just do not like to do as leaders. Examples for me at my full-time job would be approving time cards, approving vacation, filling out paperwork, just things that don't really excite me. However, I understand the big picture, they are important. Approving somebody's vacation to you may seem like another checkbox, but to that person, that's a big deal that you approve their vacation. So taking ownership in those little mundane things and then showing your followers how important that those mundane things may look like on paper, how important they are to the greater good of the organization, and you showing them the value of them. If they see that there's value in it, they'll believe there's value in it, and it will hopefully push them to take care of those things. And oftentimes they can learn to knock them out pretty darn quickly. Going back to what I mentioned is next week is week 5, and that is halfway through the semester. DMAC requires me as an instructor to report midterm grades. I can tell you after 19 years of doing this, I used to never do it in the first 2 or 3 years I taught at DMAC. We were never required to report midterm grades, and that policy has changed. So I am required to report midterm grades. Anybody that I do report midterm grades with a C- or below will receive notification from the college that you have that grade. That does not mean you're failing. It just means that, hey, at this point, that's what your grade is. The beauty of this class is there are still 5 weeks to go. Still lots to do, 3 more exams, still sitting out there, all with some quality points. So if you're not at the grade you want, be thinking about what you need to do to get to that grade. If you have questions about your grade, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I will catch up with you next week. See you later.